Hey guys, it's like 3 a.m. here and I'm so tired, so I'm going to try and breeze through this, but I wanted to give you a good overview of the maps and especially of the layers over here. Okay, so if you don't know what layers are like different categories and you can select them or deselect them to make your pins go away, disappear, or come back. So this is our biggest layer here that says needs rescue. You'll notice right away if I click on this button here, this check mark, that it will make all of those that need to be rescued still disappear, which is most of the map, okay? And then right below it is rescued. If I click on that, they'll disappear. Actively responding, click on that, they'll disappear. So each of those layers, it represents a different purpose, and so it's going to have different pins on that layer. Down here we have evacuee resources. This is where we list all of the food, shelter, medical care that they can access. So if I click that off, then those disappear. So now my map is pretty plain. But anyway, that is kind of the purpose of layers. Now, if I was a guy out in a boat trying to follow a map and I had all of these layers turned on, it would be kind of confusing. So it would be kind of nice to turn off the other layers. And so we need to make sure that we're inputting the people in the correct layer. This layer right here is the layer designated for those who have already been rescued. Well, a few minutes ago I looked through it and there were some in there that were red that should have actually been in this layer up here that still needed to be rescued. If that layer were turned off and you weren't able to see that there were people still needing to be rescued, those people could be missed. So we need to make sure that we're entering these addresses into the right layer. Okay, so to make sure that we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and first of all, the most important thing to start out with is that this layer needs to be visible. If it is not checked, then there is no way that you can input an address or a pin into that layer. So make sure it's checked. And then just right off the bat, to make sure that you're actually in this layer, you can click on any one of these and it will just make sure that you're in that layer. Then what you're going to do is go up here and you're going to add your address. I'm just going to go ahead and add one that's already in here, 6244. I don't know, let's do this one. This one's actually not in here already, but this is just for an example. So let's go ahead and let's say this is our address. Let's click on it. And it's going to put this little green pin here, but that's temporary. It's not going to stay. So we have to click Add to Map, okay? Don't worry, I'm going to delete this in a minute, so it's not going to confuse anybody. But I'm going to add it to our map here by clicking on that, okay? Now, I'm going to go to the spreadsheet or wherever I got this pin from and this address, and I'm going to copy all the information on that row. So I'd select the row that it came from, and I'd go Control Copy, and I'd copy all that information, and then I'd come back in here, and I'd go into this edit, and I'd input that information. Once I've done that, I am going to make sure that it is the right color. Now, each of the pins has a specific color that it should be. When we are talking about a person or an address that needs to be rescued from, it needs to remain a pin like this. We're not going to go in here and we're not going to select a fancy icon because we think it would be helpful. I've seen some people selecting, now this red color is our color for if it's an emergency, but I've seen people selecting that red color and then coming over here and selecting, you know, like this medical cross image. Now, I don't know about you, but if I were out in a boat and I was looking at a map and I saw that, I would think that that was not an address where a person was. I would think that that was like a medical facility, and it just gets really confusing. So just keep the map all standardized, everything the same. We're going to keep all of those, all the people that still need to be found, no matter what color, and we'll go over the colors in a sec. We still need to keep them all the same icon, which is the pin drop. Okay, just like that. Now, like I said, I'll go over the colors in a minute. Lisa is she's right now working on a layer, and when we, let's see, I'm gonna delete this because we're not gonna, actually, we'll just keep it there for a minute. She's working on a layer that is gonna be down here that is gonna be a legend or a map key, however she decides to do it, where you click on it and it's gonna show us what each icon is for each different thing. So like I said, this pin drop is just going to be for those who need to be rescued. When the person has already been rescued, it will be changed to a green check mark, like this right here. A green check mark. Okay, and that's what all of the people who have been rescued are going to be changed into. If it's going to be a hospital, I'm not sure what color she'll decide. You can see it down here when she decides. We talked about purple. I don't know if that's what it'll be, but it'll be whatever color, and then the hospitals will all be an H. Now, some hospitals are shut down and they're not going to be open to people, so those ones I know will be a gray color if they are not open and not available. The ones that are will be a different color. And like I said, this will all be down here in the layer that says legend or map key. Okay, anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. Hopefully you understand how to change the color and the shape and design of that. And please just remember that we're trying to keep this all like as simple as possible so that people can understand it. And if we start using fancy icons because we think that it means something different, or that people will understand it better, or that it looks better, it's not helpful. Okay, we just need to keep it all the same. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that so that we don't get confused. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you real quick. If you go to the spreadsheet and you go down here to the bottom, there is a tab that says for Google Maps, it's a color key. You can click on that, and this shows us the colors of each of the different pins, okay, and what they refer to. So this is, if it's a life-threatening emergency, it will be the maroon color. Here's the RGB code in case you want that. The icon will be a pin shape. This just kind of describes it all. Okay, the rescued ones will be green. This is the RGB code. And when I say RGB code, that is the little code. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to click on this one down here. When I click on that, and I click the color, and I hover over it, you can see that the numbers show up under it. This one says RGB 1942491. Okay, that's the RGB code. And you're gonna, that's just what I'm referring to when I say RGB code. Okay, so it's in here too if it's more helpful. But we really want to make it all the same. Okay, we want to make all of the life-threatening ones exactly the same color. All of the needs medical attention that's not life-threatening but needs medical attention, the same color of orange, okay? We're trying to keep it all the same. There is also here, I'm just going to show you this to refer to. and I will probably take a snapshot of this and just post it in a comment below. But this shows you just a visual of like the green that would be for the rescued. This would be tier 1 maroon. It will be this maroon right there. The tier 2 orange is going to be that orange, kind of in between the dark orange and the yellow. The tier 3 is the initial blue marking. The tier 3 would just be like every other normal person without like a real medical need. It'll just be this blue, and it naturally comes up that, so you won't have to change it to that. The black is going to be for those who are refusing rescue. If they stayed behind for any reason, because of pets or because they don't feel like they need help, whatever the reason, they are tagged black. Their pin is changed to black, and the comments in their little pin box, when I say pin box, I just mean you click on here and there's comments here. You're going to add a comment in the bottom explaining, you know, their situation, and then you can change that to black if they've refused help, or you know, if their situation has changed at all. Okay, I'm trying to think if that is all it. We are going to do, the hospitals will be an H, like I said, a circle H. The shelters will be a circle with a cross in it, like we show, like we saw here. Right here, there's some, and then we have, so that layer is evacuee. Let's see, evacuee resources. We also have rescuer resources here, and that one is going to show any of the like rally points that we hear on the radio, or any boat launches, any like helpful advice if we find out that a bridge has collapsed, or that you know, a dam broke, or that there is gas available, like right here. There's fuel available for boaters in this location. So we're going to add any of that helpful information for them to that layer. And those are going to be brown. I think I have covered most everything. Like I said, if you notice some of these that are in the wrong layer, like this one, let's see. It doesn't say on here any details, but it is marked a green check mark. We'll go ahead and grab it and pull it out of that layer, and it's going to take a little while to drag it down. We can just drag it and put it in the right layer. So if you accidentally put it in the wrong layer, no big deal. Just spend 10 minutes dragging it down. Just kidding. Just drag it down to the other layer and drop it. It can be kind of cumbersome though, so that's why it's easier to just put it in the right layer to begin with. I gotta be almost there. There we go. Okay, we'll drop it in there. Okay, so hopefully that is everything. And if you have any questions, shoot them to me. But like I said, we're gonna try to get you know, all of this standardized so that we don't have weird symbols for different things, and some of these colors are not quite the same. We're gonna put some people in charge of that to try and get it all kind of the same. But for now, just worry about entering it correctly from now on. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Good luck. Thanks for your help.